Hi everyone, it's Rachel with Rachel Super Cute Creations, and I'm here today to show you a mini journal made out of 2 inventory tags. This little journal is perfect to tuck in to tuck spots or to just send on its own. So this embellishment is from Calico Collage, the kit Bella Rose, and some of the ephemeras in there, but this is just an adorable little journal. It has 20 pages in it, and I think it's just perfect and it's fun to make. So we're going to make one of these today. And the supplies you're going to need are 2 inventory tags. You're going to need to cut some of your scrap papers at let's see here. Let's measure these papers. I can't remember. I'm sorry, guys. These papers are 6 inches, I believe. Yep, 6 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. So 6 by 5, I'm sorry, by 5.25 inches tall. So 5.25 inches tall by 6. Fold them in half and you have your pages. So we're going to just kind of set our pages to the side. The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need about a 1-inch strip of fabric, and you're going to tear it in half so you have 2 strips. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink my tags, and I am using Tim Holtz tea dye today. So I'm just quickly inking around the edges, and I will do that on the front and the back. Now we will ink again once we get the spine on. The spine is going to be made from the fabric. All right. So I hope you like this super cute journal. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to Rachel Super Cute Creations. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, so we've inked those tags. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use some Fabri-Tac or some sort of liquid glue. You want to measure your fabric strips to make sure that they go from this point here to the end. You do not want them to go too much over the end. So I have to trim this just a smidge. And you're going to use one for your inside and one for your outside. All right. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put just a small bead of glue right along the edge. Now you do not want to go too far up this edge. And you're going to stop right where you get to that cutout of the tag. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to place your piece of fabric down along that edge. And you're going to just secure it and make sure it dries. Okay, this part is a very important step. At this point, you want to put your signature inside. And what I do is I take and I put a paper clip on here. You do not want this to be extremely tight going around the edge, so I don't want to like pull this really tight and tighten it because then your book's not going to close correctly. I'm just going to carefully roll this over the edge. So I'm going to take and I'm going to put this glue right along the edge just like we did on the last one. And I'm going to just roll this fabric gently onto that glue. And we have just created a beautiful fabric spine. Make sure your tags are lined up well. Now is the time to adjust them if you need to. Okay, so now that we've done that, we have our book. You do need to make sure that there's a gap here. Do not butt those two up together or it's not going to open and close correctly. All right, so we now have our cover of our journal. I like to then take a piece of fabric and cover the inside. You do not have to do this step. This is just something that I like to do. But once again, do not put it too tight. It needs to have some room in that center to flex. So I'm just adding the glue, and I kind of fold this and stick it in the center there, and then just kind of let it lay. And then I like to take either my awl or a bone folder or whatever you have and just kind of scoot that fabric in there. And then you can go ahead and press it down. So you just want to make sure that there's lots of room in there to have some movement within that spine. Okay? All right. So now the best part of this is we're just going to take this and we're going to bind our journal. So we put this together, and I like to put my pages to the very bottom. And I take a large paper clip and I put a paper clip on one side. I take my awl. I do not measure for this, but I go approximately in the middle, and then about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, and then about 3/4 of an inch from the top of the pages. And now I have 3 holes. I'm not sure if you can see those, but I have 3 holes along there. I get my waxed thread on my needle, go in through the center, hold the tail, down through the top, oops, then I take my thread all the way down to the bottom. At this point, I make sure that my thread is on one side of that center string, and I come back up through the middle hole on the opposite side of that string. So let me show you a close-up of that. So I have one string on one side, one thread on the other. I go ahead and I tighten, tighten this, and I tie a knot. And then I like to tie a bow, and here's a little trick. So when you're using wax thread, a lot of times your bow's not going to stay. So what I do is I take my Fabri-Tac, and I wouldn't use wet glue. I would use Fabri-Tac or something that's more not a water-based glue. Oh goodness, sorry guys, I can't get this to come down. Of course, on the video, it's not going to want to come down. And I put just a little tiny bead there, and then I press it down. And what that will do is that will secure that knot so that it does not slip and come undone. And then I just cut my tails. There we go. So we've now finished our journal. Oops, sorry. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now we're going to decorate the front of our journal. And at this point, we are going to put some lace or something to close it off because they do kind of stick up. Now, if you don't want to do that, you could just simply put a paper clip with an embellishment or something on there. But I just use this paper clip to kind of hold it shut while I'm decorating. The first thing I want to do is I want to take my ink, and I like to run it along the fabric a little bit just to distress the fabric. Now this is a step that you don't have to do if you don't want to, but it's just something that I like to do. And I also like to run along the perforation of the tag just to give it a little more character. Okay, Then the next thing I'm going to do is I have this old 1900s book page, and it has this little bird on it. So we're going to use that. But it's very thin. It's almost like tissue paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this by laying it down and going along the edges, because I'm trying not to tear this very thin and brittle paper. I am going to use some Elmer's permanent glue to put it down, just because it is so thin. So I'm using Elmer's glue stick, giving it a good dose. There we go. And I'm going to place that right about here. There we go. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to add this piece of fabric. Whenever I attach fabric, I always use Fabri-Tac, just because it adheres nicely, it dries fast, and I don't have to worry about the glue not sticking. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of this cheesecloth. And I'm just adding this cheesecloth to give it a little bit more texture. The image that I'm going to add to this one is going to be this beautiful rose image from Calico Collage, Bella Rose kit. So we're going to add that just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. I'm not going to tack down my cheesecloth. I'm just going to do that. Oh, but before I do that, you guys, see, I almost forgot a step. I want to put my closure on. So I'm going to take some of this ribbon, and I do want to tack this down underneath here. So I'm just going to stick this down, and then I'm going to put my rose image on top. Just like that. Stick that down. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little dot of glue right here to secure that lace. Now we can go ahead and we can take this and we can tie it shut. And then trim our tails. So there is our closure. Now I do want to go in and I want to do a little bit of embellishing. I need to put a little bit of glue right down here. Okay, I do want to do a couple of things on the inside of here. One thing I want to do is on the back, I want to add a little belly band. So I have this piece of avocado dyed paper, and I'm just going to add it right here so some things can be tucked in there. And I'm going to grab some of my clear tacky glue. And I'm going to go right along this edge here and right along the top edge. And I'm going to adhere that right here in my book. So I can now put journaling cards or anything that I want in this little belly band. So I'll grab a journaling card. So this little journaling card now fits in here. And then in the front, I'd like to add a little pocket. So I'm going to just take a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to take this little piece of scrap paper and I'm going to go ahead and ink around it. Actually, I'm going to punch the corners. Sorry for the noise. I had to get this out of my drawer. We're going to go ahead and we're going to punch these and make a cute little pocket right here. So I'm going to go ahead and ink around this French book page. And put some glue along the edge. And add our little pocket right here. And then we can add this little piece of fabric to dress up our pocket. And there we go. We have this adorable little journal where you can put tags or whatever you'd like. You could certainly go in and you could dress up you could dress it up more if you'd like. You can put little journaling spots in there. And this is a cute little embellishment. So I hope you like this inventory tag journal. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.